What's going on, my dear friends? Today in this video, let's dive into the React. So let's get started. Since I published my Angular full course, many of you guys requested to make a full course about React. So here it is. So guys, this is the part 1 of the 10-hour full React course. So hope you guys will find this tutorial useful. So let's start this React tutorial by looking at what is React. So guys, when we develop a website, we have to consider two sides, the front end or the client side and the back end or the server side. The front end loads inside the browser and the server side will load inside the server, right? So the end user will only see this front end side of our website. So guys, in a website, the front end will handle the user interactions and the back end or the server side will handle all the data response. We build the front end traditionally using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Hope you guys already know about this. So we use HTML to build the structure of our web page and we use CSS to make our web page or the website user friendly by adding colors, fonts, layouts and so on. So with using the JavaScript, we make our website functional. This is considered something like the human body, the bare bone or the skeleton structure of a human body similar to our web page HTML structure. The CSS is something like our skin and our dress. And JavaScript is like our brain. So in our body, the main command center is the brain, right? So like that, we handle our website's user experience using the JavaScript. It is the main command center of a website. For example, if we want to show an alert when the user clicks on a button, we use this JavaScript. If the user wants to change the color of the website by clicking a button, for this also we can use the JavaScript. So guys, these kinds of actions in JavaScript, we call this as a DOM manipulation. DOM means Document Object Module inside of our web browser. So hope you guys already know about all this. If any of you guys don't know about JavaScript, you guys can learn about JavaScript with my JavaScript full course. You can find the link in the description. Alright, so guys, manipulating this DOM using the JavaScript is not an easy task. It is a very buggy and time consuming. So as a solution for this, big companies like Google and Meta came up with their own solutions for this. So Google developed and introduced the Angular framework and Meta developed and introduced React. So guys, what is this React? So React is a front-end library built using JavaScript, developed and maintained by the Meta or the Facebook. So guys, please carefully note this. React is not something new. It's built using the JavaScript, not any something new programming language, right? So the main objective behind this React library is to speed up and improve the developer experience when developing complex websites. Okay? So guys, when we developing a React app, basically we use the same HTML, CSS and the JavaScript approach with a little bit of syntax changes. The only thing is we don't need to write all the JavaScript codes from scratch. The best part is when we're using React, we don't need to write all the JavaScript codes from scratch. So React library has pre-built methods and techniques. If you guys familiar with CSS frameworks like Tailwind CSS or Bootstrap CSS, and if you want to make a text color to something red, by using these CSS frameworks, we can make this text red by just simply adding the text color red utility class to our HTML element. So we don't need to write the CSS codes from scratch. So React also the same as this. For example, Think if we want to show something that we want to load the user's name dynamically inside the h1 tag. In pure JavaScript, first we have to give an ID to this h1 tag, then we have to capture the h1 tag using the getElementById. After this, we have to insert this username inside the h1 tag using the inner HTML JavaScript function. But in React, we can simply load this username value inside the h1 tag, something like this, inside of curly brackets. We can simply access this variable inside these curly brackets, and this will render this username inside the view. So we don't need to write lines of codes like pure JavaScript. So this is what I was trying to tell you guys. React is a JavaScript front-end library that is used to develop web applications more robustly. So hope you guys got the idea. So guys, first write a small example code using JavaScript, then we will convert that as a React code. So you guys can understand the core concept of the React library. So first thing first, create a project folder for this. I will create my project folder inside my desktop. So guys, you guys can create the project folder wherever you want. Already I have created a folder inside my desktop. So inside this folder, I create another folder and named it JavaScript to React. So now I will open this folder inside the VS Code. So now let's create an index.html file, and also let's create another file, main.js file. So now inside this HTML file, let's add these. First, we have to create the HTML page structure. For this, we can use the emit shortcode. So HTML:file and hit enter. As you guys can see here, this created the entire HTML page code structure. So guys who don't know about emit, and it's simply a shortcode form to generate HTML tags. For example, previously I used the HTML:5 to generate the HTML structure. So like this, if I want to generate an h1 tag inside of a div tag, I can simply use this emit code to generate that tag, div and greater than symbol, after this h1. So this is the emit code to generate an h1 tag inside of a div tag. So hit enter, this will generate the HTML code. So guys, this is the usage of the emit codes. Now let's back to our track. Now we need these h1 tags for our example, so keep it, and for now we don't need these divs, so remove them. Now let's add this h1 text to this heading loaded from HTML page. So now let's run this HTML page using the live server. So guys, this is a VS Code extension where we can run our HTML pages on a virtual server inside our local computer. If any of you guys don't have this, download and install it on your VS Code. We can simply run the live server by right click and selecting this open with the live server option. So as I said, this will create a virtual development server and load our HTML file inside of that server. So we can access this server with this URL. So guys, inside the browser, we can see this, our simple HTML website. Now what I want to do is, I want to create another h1 tag and load it inside our view only using JavaScript, right? So how do we do that? So guys, we already created a separate JavaScript file for this. Let's use that to write our JavaScript codes. So first we have to link the JavaScript file to this HTML page. So inside this, how do we link the JavaScript file inside of HTML file? We can use the script tags, right? So inside this, down here, script tags and the SRC attribute. Now inside this, add the path of our JavaScript file. So this is inside the same directory, /, and the file name is main.js. So now inside this, let's write our JavaScript codes. So first I want to create an HTML h1 tag using JavaScript. So how do we do that? Very simple. For this we can use the create element method in JavaScript, right? So let's do this. First let's create a variable to hold this const keyword and the variable name something heading 1. After this equal sign, document dot create element, inside parentheses pass the HTML element that we want to create, h1. So pass this as a string value inside of quotes. So guys, with this we are creating our HTML heading tags using the JavaScript, right? So what we have to do is we have to load this inside the view. So for this we can use the append child method. So guys, in order to show this inside the view using the append child method, we need a div or a container inside the HTML code. So for this, let's create a div inside the HTML file and give it an ID something app. So now back to the JavaScript file. First we have to capture this div. So for this we can use the get element by ID, right? So let's do this. Create a variable for this const app, assign document dot get element by ID. Carefully follow these capital simple letters. After this, add the parentheses and inside this pass the div ID name, which is app. Now guys, we can load this created heading tag inside the view. As I said earlier, for this we can use the append child method. So after this, the target container is this app. So app dot append child, inside these parentheses pass the created heading element heading 1. So now save this all and go to the browser. In here we got only our first heading tag and we cannot see the second heading tag. Why is that? Guys, the second heading tag is also here. You can see this inside the developers tools element tab. The HTML code loaded the second h1 tag, but the problem is this loaded second h1 tag doesn't have any text values. So that's why in the view we cannot see anything. So let's pass a text value to this heading. How do we do this? For this we can use the inner HTML function in JavaScript. So after this heading tags create element statement, and this heading 1, which is this variable dot inner HTML, after this equal sign, now pass the value that we want to show inside the view, something loaded using JavaScript. So pass this as a string inside of quotes. That's it. So save this and go to the browser. Now as you guys can see here, this time we can see the second heading tag with the text. So guys, with this tutorial I just wanted you guys to recap how we can create and load any HTML tags inside the view using only JavaScript. For this, first we created the HTML element using the create element method, and after that we assign the text to the created element. After that, in order to render this element inside the view, we use the append child method. For this we need an entry point or the main container. So for this we created a div inside this HTML file and we loaded this heading element inside the view using this append child view inside the app div. So this is a simple process of how we can load an HTML element inside the view using only JavaScript, right? So next let's do the same process using the React library. After that we'll discuss what is the benefit of using the React library instead of pure JavaScript, right? Alright guys, now in this lecture let's see how we can do the same thing using the React library. So first thing first, we have to import the React library to our website. For this, we can download and link the files to our HTML page, but for this tutorial, I will use the React CDN. So go to the browser and Google React CDN and go to this website. Copy these both script tags and paste them inside the bottom of the body tag. Guys, if you are familiar with CSS frameworks like Tailwind or Bootstrap, in order to use that, first we have to link those CSS frameworks to our HTML page. The same thing we did here. So hope you guys got the idea. So guys, now we can use React in our website. So inside the JavaScript file, let's rewrite the same approach using the React library. So first thing first, like JavaScript, we have to create the element. For this, we have the create element method in React. So let's see this in action. Down here, create a variable to hold this. So const variable name something, React heading 1. So after this, React with capital R dot create element and parentheses. So guys, this method required 3 parameters. So first one is the HTML element type that we want to create. With React, let's create an h2 tag. So pass that here. Pass this as a string value. So after this, as the second parameter, we have to pass the properties. For this, we don't have any properties, so create an empty object. As the third parameter, pass the heading text that we want to display inside the h2 tag. So inside quotes, the text is something, this heading loaded using React. So guys, don't get confused. In the JavaScript approach, we used this create element from the JavaScript document module. But with this, we are using the React's create element method. Both of these are different. Okay. So guys, with this, we created the element. Next, we have to load this inside the view, the same as this JavaScript approach. So for this also, we need a root div or container inside the view. So guys, for this also, let's create a separate div and set the ID as root. Now back to the JavaScript file. In order to load this React element inside the view, we have to use the React DOM. So again, create another variable for this, const root and assign and equal sign. After this, React DOM dot create root and parentheses. Now inside this, we have to pass our root div. So we can capture that using the JavaScript approach. So document.getElement by ID. Inside this parentheses, the ID of our div is root. So guys, this is not done yet. Next, we have to render our element inside this root div. So after this, root, which is this React DOM variable. After this, render root dot render, and inside this parentheses, pass the element that we want to render. So this React heading 1. That's it. So guys, let's save this and check whether this is working or not. So save this all and go to the browser. As you guys can see here, this time we got our h2 tag, which is loaded using the React. If you look at the HTML structure inside the browser console, we can see our h2 tag inside of this root div, not inside this main div. So how is that? So let's discuss this React code. So guys, as you know, previously we loaded this heading tag using the JavaScript, but now we loaded this with React codes. So guys, with this React code, first we created the element. For this, we use the React create element method. So next with this, we are creating the root div as a main root element inside the React DOM. Guys, React will not work inside the default JavaScript DOM or the document object model. So React will create its own DOM and load all the React element inside that React DOM. So this is not similar to the JavaScript DOM, right? So with this, we are placing the root div as the main div inside the React DOM. So after this, we load or render this React element inside the main root div, which is loaded inside the React DOM. So guys, previously I told you that React is not something totally new. It's built using JavaScript, right? So as you guys can see here, while using the React approach, we used the getElementById JavaScript method to capture our root div. So what I am trying to convey, guys, is that React is a JavaScript library on top of JavaScript, and it doesn't replace JavaScript, but this will give you another approach to building web applications more robust way compared to traditional JavaScript. So guys, even in here, we are using something React create element method to create this element, but at the end, this code will convert to JavaScript create element method, because the browser only knows how to read JavaScript. The browser doesn't know React, right? So with the help of the React library, we created this element with one line of code. When we used JavaScript, we wrote this in 2 lines. I know guys, with this simple example, we cannot exactly say that React is more efficient than the JavaScript. I just want you guys to know the difference between React and JavaScript. So while we deep dive into this course, you guys will understand all of these concepts well. So guys, in the previous section, we learned how to write a React code inside of our simple static website. So we wrote this React code inside this JavaScript file by importing the React library into this project via CDN link. So guys, I used this method just to show you an example of how the React works with JavaScript. But guys, React is not just as simple as this. We can do so many things with just a few lines of code. But we can't do that with this CDN import. We have to download all the React library files, and we have to set up separate development environment to work with React. So React has its own ecosystem. At the beginning, when the initial release of React, that time we call React library as React.js. Now with the latest updates, we call this React. We don't use the JS part. So guys, at the initial first release of React, we had to create this React ecosystem or the development environment from scratch. So we had to write all the codes, and we had to create all the necessary files. But fortunately, now we have an npx command to download and do this React setup. So the command is create React app. So this command will download and install all the necessary files inside our computer and set up the React development environment for us within few minutes. So guys, now let's create a React project using this command. So for this also we need a project folder. So I will use the same project folder inside my desktop. So now open the command prompt or the terminal. Navigate to the project folder. In my case, my project folder is inside my desktop. So cd desktop, cd, my project folder name is React full course. So cd React full course. Perfect. So next, let's generate the app using the create React app command. So for this, we are using the npx package manager to download the React app. So inside the command prompt, npx create dash react dash app, all lowercase letters. So after this, hit enter to execute this command. So guys, this will download all the necessary files that we need to get started with a React project. This may take several seconds to minutes depending on your internet speed. Once this installation is completed, inside our project folder, we can see this, our new React project. So now let's open this inside the VS Code and we'll go through the file structure of a React project. So alright, let's open this inside the VS Code. Right click and open with VS Code. So this opens our project inside the VS Code. So now inside this VS Code file tree, you can see few folders and files. Before that, let's run this React app and see how React default boilerplate looks like. So how do we run this? Very simple. Open the VS Code integrated terminal. Guys, this is just a terminal or a command prompt that comes with the VS Code. So we can use this to run commands same as our default command prompt or the terminal in our PC. So we can access this integrated terminal by going to this view and selecting this terminal menu option. Or we can use the keyboard shortcut control or the command with the tilde symbol, which is located before the number 1 key on the keyboard. Awesome. So now open the terminal. Inside this, let's run the command npm start and hit enter to execute this command. Now this will compile all our React files and create the development server inside our PC. This is also kind of like the live server plugin that we used earlier, right? So guys, now this is compiled and created the live server. Now we can access our React app by going to this development server URL localhost 3000. So open this inside the browser. So go to the browser and go to this URL localhost 3000. So guys, this is what the default React app boilerplate looks like. Perfect, right? Alright, so guys, let's move on to the next chapter. Alright, now let's go through this file structure. Guys, first at the top, we can see this node module folder. So guys, this node module directory contains all the required files and project dependencies of our React project. Inside this, we can find so many folders and files. Don't worry about this, we will not gonna touch this folder. But guys, this is very important. Without this, our React project will not work. Okay? So wait, I'll show you this. Let's delete this folder. While this deleting process is going, you can see that inside this terminal, we are getting these errors. And after the delete process complete, as you guys can see, this development server stopped. Inside the browser, if we refresh, we will get this site can't reach message. So guys, as I said, this is the folder where our React projects all the required files stored, right? Without this, we cannot work with our React project. So I deleted this folder. Now our React project is not working and it is useless. So how do we fix this? Very simple. We can re-download all the required files or node modules by running the npm install command. So inside the integrated terminal, run this npm install and hit enter. So this will download all the required files for this React project again and store them inside of the node modules folder. Once this installation is done, again run this project npm start. As you guys can see here, this time our project is compiled and run inside the development server. If you go to this URL, now this is working as previous. So guys, once again, this is the folder that carries all the required dependencies of our React project. In order to work with our React project, we need this. So guys, some of you may have wondered that previously I deleted this node module folder, and after that, by running a small one line of command npm install, we re-downloaded the entire node modules directory without telling to this npm command which modules that we want to install. And guys, what's going on here? Yes, of course. So guys, you can find the answer for this inside this package.json file. So guys, this is the file that contains what are the dependencies that we used with our React project. So inside this, we have this dependencies JSON object. Inside this, we can see all the required packages listed here. So this is how the npm install command again downloaded all the React packages. Okay. When we run the npm install command, the npm command will first access this package.json file and install all the required packages one by one, going through these dependencies object. So guys, this package.json is also very important because this contains all the valuable information about our React application, right? So guys, apart from these dependencies, this file contains the details of metadata about our React app. So like this name, version, and so on. So guys, next, before we move on to the other folders, let's look at these files. This package logs.json file, which is also the same as the package.json file. This file lists all the package details and its versions details. Okay. So next we have this git ignore file, which contains files and directories that should be ignored by git version control. So next we have the read empty file, which is the simple documentation or the basic guide of our React project. Okay, so by going through this, you can get a simple understanding of this React project. Alright, now let's look at these remaining folders. We have the public folder, which contains a static HTML file. This is the main index file of our React application. So this is the main and only file that loads inside the browser. Wait, I'll show you this. Now go to the browser. As you guys can see here, our website title is React app, which comes from this index files title tag. So if I change this to something OctAcademy, again save this and go to the browser. As you guys can see here, this time the title changed to OctAcademy. So guys, as I said, this is the main file that loaded inside the browser. Okay, next we have few other files and images inside this public folder. So this is the web icon image, and these are the React logo images. Next we have the manifest file, which contains the metadata of this project, and next we have this robot.txt file. This is simply to communicate with search engines. This is related to the search engine optimizations. So don't think about these two files. These files are nothing to deal with React. Just remember, this is the main index file that loads inside the browser. So guys, just remember, this index.html file is the main index file that loads inside the browser. So guys, when we're dealing with React, we will never touch this public folder as well. We will only work within this SRC folder and with its files. So now let's look at this SRC folder. So guys, inside this we have this index.js file. This is the main entry point of our React application, which is responsible for rendering our entire React application inside the browser. So guys, don't worry about these codes. We will come back to this in next lectures. So next file is the index.css file. This is the main global CSS file of our React application. Next we have this app.js file. What is this? Guys, this is the main root component of our React application. Those who don't know about components, don't worry, we will learn about this in detail. So just remember, this is the main app component of our application. We will work mostly with this file. We use this as the entry point component of our React application. Next we have the app.css file, which contains the CSS styles of this app component. These app CSS styles will only apply to this app component. Okay, and next we have this app.test.js file. This file is responsible for the unit testing of React. So we will not touch this file because the unit testing is not included in this course curriculum. Next we have the React logo and two config files. This setup file is also for the unit testing, and this report web vital is used for analytic purpose. So guys, throughout this course, most of the time we will work within this SRC folder and with this app.js file. Okay. I know guys, you guys may not get the idea of these files and this file structure 100%, but don't worry, you guys will get used to this while continuing this course. If you don't get it now, don't worry, just leave it and continue to the next chapter. So guys, we successfully generated the React project and now we have an idea about the React file structure. And guys, we compiled and run our React project and we got this view inside the browser. So guys, from where are we getting this view? So inside the index.html file, we do not have any HTML code related to this browser view. We just have only these no script tags and this root div. If you look at this web page code, we can check that by browser developers tools, right click and select this inspect. This will open the developers tools of the browser that you are using. By the way guys, throughout this course I will be using the Chrome web browser. If you guys also can use the Google Chrome, that would prevent unnecessary bugs and errors. So guys, inside the developer tools, go to this elements tab. In here we can see the HTML code that is responsible for this view. Inside this body tag, we can see the no script tags and this root div. And also inside this root div, we got another set of HTML code. This has app div and header tags and image tags and all. But guys, inside our index file, we don't have any of these codes. So guys, I'm checking this index.html file inside of this public folder. Because if you guys can remember, I told you that this is the file loads inside the browser, right? So if I remove this no script tag, look at the browser code. In here also now we cannot see the no script tag. So guys, this is the file loaded inside the browser. But the thing is, another set of HTML codes loaded here inside the browser, but we cannot find these codes inside the index.html file. So what's going on here? To find the answer for this, we have to go through the SRC folders files. So guys, open this app.js file. Inside this, we can find these codes, and inside this function, we can see these HTML codes. If you look at this carefully, you will recognize the code which loaded inside the web browser. So guys, this is the code that is responsible for the browser view. So in here we have this app div and the header, image tags, links and all. Let's confirm this. I'll change this p tag text to something to OctAcademy React full course. Save this and go to the browser. As you guys can see here, this text changed to our new text, right? So guys, this now confirm that this is the code that is responsible for the view. But guys, how is this code loaded inside the index.html file? Inside this app.js file, we cannot find any relationship between the index.html file. Then how this is loaded inside the browser? For this, we can find the answer inside this index.js file. So open this index.js file, and inside this, we can see this code. So in here, we can see this React DOM create root method. Can you guys remember this code? Yes, of course. In the previous lecture, when we compared JavaScript code with React, we wrote this code. So if we check that, we wrote this to load the React element inside the root div. So this is also the same as that. So guys, in here also we capture our entry point div, which is located inside the index.html file, and we render this inside that div. So in here we are sending this app, which is this app.js file we imported here, right? So inside this app.js file, we are returning this HTML code, right? With this, we are capturing that code and rendering inside the HTML root div. So this is how we are getting this app.js view inside the browser. So guys, this is how we are getting this app.js view inside the browser. So hope you guys got the idea. So guys, don't worry about these imports and these syntaxes. We will learn all about this in detail in the next section. So guys, in this lecture, let's create all of these codes from scratch, and then we can understand well these React codes and how React works behind the scenes. Alright, so first I'll delete all the files inside the SRC folder. Now guys, let's create our first main file, which is the index.js file. This is the main file that is responsible for loading the view inside the browser, right? So now inside this, let's write our React code. So guys, when we're dealing with React, we should consider three things. The first one is we need a React element to load inside the browser. Next, we should have a main root div element to load all the React elements. And at last, we have to render the React element inside that root div. Okay, so let's do this. Guys, we already did this, right? So this is also the same as the previous. So guys, first thing first, we have to import React and React DOM to this file, right? So if you guys can remember, in the previous, we used the React CDN for this. But now, this time, we downloaded all the React files into this project, which is located inside this node modules folder. So now we have to import this downloaded React library to this file in order to write React codes. So how do we do that? For this, we can use the import method in JavaScript. So here, import, and the library that we want to import is React. So pass this here, React with uppercase R, right? So after this is coming from React. So inside codes, React. This is with lowercase r. So guys, if you look inside the node modules folder, we can find this React folder. So guys, this is what we importing here. Just for now, keep this in your mind. This is something like linking external JavaScript file to our index file, right? This is also same as that. Next guys, using this React, now we can create an element that we want to show inside the view. So let's create the element React, which is this imported React. So React with uppercase R dot create element inside the parentheses. This is also the same as previous. So this required 3 parameters, the element that we want to create. So let's create a heading tag. So inside codes h1. Next we have to pass the property object. For now we don't have any properties for this. So pass an empty object. Next we have to pass the heading text. So let's pass this as a string. The text is loaded with React. Now we have the element. Let's store this inside of a variable. So const the variable name something element. That's it. So guys, now we have the element. As the second step, we need a main root div to load the React element. So for this, we have already the root div inside our index.html file. So let's use that. So now let's add this main div inside the React DOM. In order to use the React DOM, we have to import that here as well. So after this React import, add this import React DOM. Follow these capital simple letters carefully. And after this is coming from react-dom/client. So now we can use this React DOM inside our index.js file. So down here, React DOM, which is this imported React DOM. After this, dot create root and the parentheses. So guys, now we have to capture the HTML element div. For this, we can use the get element by ID. So inside this parenthesis, document dot get element by ID. Inside parenthesis, pass the ID root as a string value. We'll store this also inside of a variable something const root. Alright, so next step we have to show this inside the view. For this we can use the render method. So this React DOM, which is this root variable, so root dot render inside parentheses. Now we can pass the element that we want to render inside the view, which is this element variable. So let's pass this here. That's it, guys. So guys, with this we are creating the element, and next we are capturing and placing our main div element inside the React DOM. After this we are loading the element inside the React DOM, right? So this is same like our previous code. So the only change here is these imports. Previously we used the React CDN, now we are directly importing the React and React DOM to this JavaScript file. Save this all, and if your React server is stopped, rerun the server npm start. So once the development server is up and running, go to this URL localhost 3000. So guys, this time we got our h1 element loaded using React, which means our React code is working as we expected. So this is how we write the basic React code. So guys, before we move on, you guys may wonder, there is no links between this index file and with our React index file. Then how this is working? So this is nothing much here, guys. These are all handled by the Webpack behind the scenes. Simply, Webpack is a module bundler. This will take our all React code and compile into browser-friendly JavaScript. At the end, this will automatically link that compiled final React code into our index.html file. Wait, I'll show you this. Go to the browser and view the page source code. And down here, we can find this script tag linking to this bundle.js file. If you open this, we can see this JavaScript file which has thousands lines of code. So this is what loaded our React element inside the view. So this is what in summary, when we run our React application using the npm run command, Webpack bundler will compile all the React codes into browser-friendly JavaScript and link that to our main index.html file. So that is how we got our view inside the browser. Hope you guys got the idea. Guys, now I want to make this h1 text to red color. How do we do that? For this we need a CSS file, right? So let's create that. Inside the SRC folder, let's create a CSS file. File name is index and the extension is CSS. Now inside this, let's write the CSS style to make the heading text red. So CSS class something text dash red, and the CSS code is color red. So in order to use this style, we have to import this CSS file into this JS file, the same as the React import. So guys, after this import, now guys, we are importing just a CSS file, not a JavaScript module. So just simply pass the path of that CSS file. So inside codes dot slash, the file name is index.css. That's it. Now let's pass this class name to this create element property object. So the key is class name and the value is text dash red. So pass this as a string. Perfect. So now save this and go to the browser. As you guys can see here, our heading text is red. If you look at the code down here, we can find this styles tag. Inside that we can see our CSS code, which is responsible for this red color heading text. So guys, how this is loaded here? We wrote this inside of a separate CSS file, And when this is loaded inside the browser, this CSS style is appeared inside this index.html file. So what's going on here? So guys, Webpack is the reason for this also. So Webpack will see this import when it compiles our code, and Webpack will understand that is a CSS code. Therefore, this will include this CSS code inside the index.html file, because this CSS codes cannot be written inside the bundled JavaScript file, right? So guys, this is how the CSS styles are applied in React. Hope you guys got the idea. So guys, I know all of these are a little bit confused. Don't worry about it. Just put this into your mind how React works behind the scenes. That's it. Alright guys, so let's move on to the next chapter, React Components.